Okay, time now is 9:22 a.m. in the morning on January 13th. Um January 13th. I slept from 4:55 to 9:20. And yeah, that's like 4.5 hours. That hurt. Damage. That's some damage. Also, Mary, the roommate, came back like about 2 nights ago, and now she's making the loudest phone call in human history. I could actually hear her voice. He's like fucking screaming at 9 fucking a.m. So that's fantastic. Um, like, why do you have to be so loud? Jesus. I can hear you from another room. Okay, anyways, I did beat the 5 a.m. curse, so that's great, but I do need to work harder to go to sleep even earlier. Yeah, it has to get earlier and earlier. Like 4:55 is not good enough. And I also did not go to like fall asleep immediately. Um, so yeah, I'm really tired. Um, but it's okay. This sleep schedule will be fixed. Yeah, I actually want to go to bed um earlier, not go to bed. I actually want to. Oh my god. Okay, my Mary the roommate. I hope she never does this ever again. Okay, so I want to get to school earlier, like an hour earlier, so that I could sit down and drink a cup of coffee and read a book and write my script because I never get the chance to write my script. I can't write my script unless I'm like on a train or something. Like at home, I'll never do it. So yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for the classes. I'm excited to be back, and yeah. And then later, I'll come back home for lunch, and then I'll go out again to meet up with Tova and Lizzie. So that's cool as well. I completely forgot to do this, but let's go, detective. Let's go, detective. Let's go, detective. Okay, so time now is what the frick is this? 5:18 p.m. I'm back at my place and I'm about to head out again to Tova's spot. I just want to mention I just want to talk about what happened to Dave for a little bit before I head out again because there are a lot of thoughts. And yeah. And yeah, bro. So today I felt kind of terrible after I woke up. It's 4.5 hours, maybe even less, and that's the least I've slept since coming back. Even worse than yesterday. So obviously not feeling so good. And I woke up and I immediately brushed my teeth, changed my clothes, and head out. And I got to SCA. And yeah, it's very interesting. I think last semester when I returned to SCA, there's this epic, like it's very dramatic. Like I'm back in this fucking wasteland. Today when I arrived at SCA, it was more just like, okay, I'm just gonna get to class. I'm gonna get a coffee, sit down. I didn't really care. There wasn't like a dramatic feel to it. I lined up in front of Coffee Bean. I forgot to mention that Maisie biked past me and Toll last night. And I'm like, I know her. And Toll's like, yeah, I know her too. And I'm like, really? And then I also saw Claire, the TA for the world building class, and she didn't recognize me. But yeah, anyways, I got coffee today, and I saw Olivia Jong, but I didn't say hi to her because she's talking to someone. I'm like, fine. Um, oh yeah, I also saw Madeline Tai, but she also didn't recognize me. Anyways, a lot of people don't recognize me, which seems like a good thing. So I got a cup of white chocolate mocha. I think it's more expensive now. I went upstairs to the third floor, sat down, and I basically had about 20 minutes. So I read like 2 pages of a book, and then I just I didn't even have time to write my script, and I'm like, well, I guess I have to go. So I left, and as I'm leaving, I saw Pau, the Spanish guy, the Spaniard TA. I said hi to him. He's like, oh yeah, I didn't recognize you because you changed the haircut. Okay, so I walked to Taper Hall and went into my classroom, and yeah, let's just say the first class of the week really starts on a lukewarm note. Dare I say mediocre? It's religion and colonial encounters, and right off the bat, you know it's a GE class because there's a bunch of random people, and they're all from like business majors, from like public policy, from real estate. Like, what the fuck? And it's just really boring. There's like just such an awkward energy. I sat in a table where there are like 3 other people around a square table, and it's like 2 Koreans, but they don't know each other. They just coincidentally are Korean. And I think those 2 Koreans probably came to my table because I'm also Asian, and they're like, maybe he's Korean, I don't know. And then it's a girl and a guy, and then another girl next to me who is like, I think Latina. And then we just had the class, and the professor was really nice. He's like an Indian American guy, but the whole class he's just sitting behind a computer and sitting down, which is fine. But you know, I really wish there's just more energy. I remember RIT 340, where the professor would like walk around and talk to individuals, but there's a real awkward energy here. We had like group discussions, and it was like no one wants to speak. It's really awkward. But the worst part was I started to get a stomachache. It was a bad idea for me to get the coffee, because I had not a lot of sleep this morning, and that means it's more likely that I'm lactose intolerant. And I guess I just took the risk, and I started getting a stomachache, and I got really uncomfortable. I was like squirming in my seat a little bit. When the class wrapped, and everyone started standing up and leaving, it was hitting me again. Like the pain is like it's like momentary. It comes back, it goes away, it comes back. It came back at that moment, and I'm just like, okay. And I like quickly just walked away, and I'm like, God, I hope no one saw that. It was embarrassing. And then yeah, and then I was like, calm down, calm down. So for the second class, so whenever I get stomach aches, if I'm calm enough, I can suppress it. I can suppress the pain until I come back home. Then the pain will come back when I get through the door of my home, because I'm back in my comfort zone, I guess. So I walked to DMC and I took my second class, which is Zen and Taoism in Asian literature, back-to-back religion, and going from Christianity to like Asian religions, I guess, which is really cool. This class is crazy. This classroom is like humongous, and there's like 50 people here, and half of us are Chinese, and the professor's this zany white guy. And, you know, he's nice and he's way more energetic, partially because he's standing up. He also has a better sense of humor. But the class was just really boring. It just goes on and on. He talks about the syllabus, and I'm just like sort of drifting away and not really caring much. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Didn't talk to anyone. So, yeah, kind of a lukewarm beginning. I will have to say, though, Tuesday's probably the least interesting day. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday should be better because tomorrow is the Mary Sweeney class, which is nice. Got to see a film, got to see David Lynch's editor, ex-wife. And then Thursday should be fun because it's the essay film. And then Friday, it's a discussion for the Asian religion class. So there's going to be more talking and more interaction. But yeah, I think it's possible to get A's for both of these classes. Seems not that tough. And it's unfortunate that I'm taking 5 religion classes, and these 2 feels middle range. And the only 2 classes out of the 5 that I feel like I did learn something is the Asian religion class last semester, and also the Jesus class. So yeah, don't know. I guess I'll have to resort to books at the end of the day to learn about religion. It sucks that the Christian mysticism isn't offered at all. But I guess the real bombshell is I checked my emails and I got a feedback from the woman who works at the N internship. The boss, the CEO of the N internship, of the N company. So, as I was drinking coffee earlier in the morning, I emailed her asking, hey, how are you doing? Just wondering whether a decision is made. If you want any additional material or if you've got questions, I'll be happy to provide them and answer them. So, without long, she responded saying, we're happy to have you, but unfortunately we can't extend the offer of an internship to you. Boom. Yeah, I wasn't terribly upset. I wasn't terribly surprised either. It was just like, oh, okay. And I think that's good. I think that's as minimal of a reaction I could give. It's just bummer. But it is a bummer though, and I don't know. And then suddenly I'm thinking maybe I should do an internship because I see Colin looking at the Google Doc. So he's probably doing some, and then like I don't know, is it necessary? Is it good? Like I don't really know. But the thing is I don't like the concept of internships anyways, because I don't like the business side of things. I really hate the business side of film, honestly. So I don't really like the idea to begin with, so maybe it's a good thing. It just is a bummer. So I immediately emailed the internship woman. But yeah, I'm still gonna keep looking for a little bit, but honestly, I don't mind having no internships this semester. But honestly, it's like, who even cares, man? Yeah, that's that. I don't know. But at least I got a job, so that's nice. So yeah, that's it. That's that. Nothing else. And yeah, had a stomachache, just had lunch. I'm gonna head out now. This is cinema.
It's gonna be a resort. Dude,
Whoa, that's crazy. Okay.
yeah, what happened?
Come on. Okay, time now is 2:31 a.m. in the morning. It's late. I just spent 2 hours doing nothing. I'm just like, yeah. Anyways, second half of the day. So yeah, second half of the day I didn't really do much. I took my laptop and then I went to the bus stop, and miraculously, I thought I had to wait 15 minutes, but a bus 204 like showed up immediately and carried me all the way to K-Town. I arrived at Tova's place at about 6:05 p.m. and then I went in and we did not edit anything. I took out my laptop, but Lizzie's like working, and then Tova just wants to like play video games. So like she put on her PS4, I guess, or like something. I don't even know. And there's like Animal Crossing. There's like a bunch of games. And then so I just played Animal Crossing instead. I've never played Animal Crossing, and it's really cute. It's a really cute game, really fun. We also just chatted, talked about class, and and yeah, just not much. And then we decided to go to a bar across the street. They're like, "Yeah, go to a bar. Let's go." And I'm like, "Okay." So we went to a bar across the street, and I was a little hesitant because I'm coughing and I feel like I shouldn't be drinking cold alcohol. But at the end, I caved in. I'm like, fine. So now my throat is like, I'm back to coughing mode again, which is so bad. But I do think that, okay, more on that later. But yeah, we went to the bar and we just talked. I told them about my short film idea. Jesus Christ, I still did not have the chance to write anything on my script. I have to write some tonight, now. And then yeah, yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, and then we went back and we played some Super Mario Smash Bros. Or some Super Mario game, and I've never played it. I thought it's the Smash Hero game that I played a lot with my cousin, but turns out this is like the small, like the 2D version where it's just, you know, Mario or Luigi or Princess Peach, and you jump up and down, and there are like mystery boxes and stuff. I'm terrible at it. I haven't touched a Nintendo Switch in like maybe 4 or 5 years. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I kept dying, and I'm like the worst one, but it's whatever. And then yeah, Tova took me home, and then on the way home we went to Ralph's to buy some food. I bought a bunch of food, 40 something bucks. And I still feel like somehow that's not enough. I bought just only a little meat, and it's like 2 thin cut steaks, and they're so fucking thin. It's so crazy how thin they are, and it's like $8. And I usually buy thin cut, and it's usually like nice. I could get one slice for a meal, but this looks like one slice is like half a meal. So I have to get more meat. This is not okay. And yeah, the syllabus for the essay film is released, and the reason why I've been doing nothing for the last couple of hours is because I've just been geeking out about the syllabus and like looking at the films and stuff, and just going, oh my god, I'm super excited for the films. I'm I'm not surprised with some of the films. Most of the films on the list are films I haven't seen. Okay, I've seen Sans Soleil, I've seen Black Box Diaries. I'm not surprised Black Box Diaries is on there. But like most of the films are like great films that I'm like I've yet to see, but I know they're like exciting to see, like Blue or News from Home. So yeah, you know, it's gonna be interesting. And then I did some research, and Mary Sweeney's class, the film list, even though I don't have the syllabus yet, but you can basically find it online because she's been teaching this class for like years now, and the film list is I don't have the syllabus, but I found a letterbox list of like all the films she chooses for the class. It's turns out I've seen like half of the films. I've seen Wild Strawberries. I've seen In the Mood for Love 3 times. I've seen Mulholland Drive 3 times already. Like I I don't know. Maybe I don't have to see it again, but we'll see. But yeah. So instead of going to the Dreams class, I feel like I could have gone to another class. Like I could have gone to the Bollywood class. I'm sure that's fun. But yeah, like Wild Strawberries I've seen. What's the other film that I've seen? That Enchanté Andalou, which is fine. It's just a short, but yeah. But 8.5 is playing, and I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And Maisie talked to me a lot. So Maisie texted me out of nowhere, asking me if I'm free to help her virtual production thesis film, which is shooting in February. And I'm like, it's February, right? And she's like, yep. And I'm like, yeah, sure, you know. And then I told her that I don't want to do this much this semester, and she's like, yeah, same. And then we just started like really going off and just chatting. She really went off on how much she loves virtual productions. Like the wall the wall is really cool, Blender's really cool, and it's like the future. I feel like I forgot what words exactly she said, but she said something along the lines of like, it's gonna be a new thing. It's like the new thing. And I complimented her. I said, "Oh, you're gonna be like a well-known PD for like wall, LED wall PD." And she like hearted my text, and I tried to like make conversation with her because I feel like people like Maisie and again Colin and Anya, like the Click to View gang, and also the APC people. Like I just want to get close to them. That's like my only goal in terms of like social life. It's just get close to the people that I already know. Like I don't care about meeting more people. I genuinely don't need to do that. I've met like 400 people in the USC already. I'm like kind of done. But I do want to get close to like these groups and the artsy film groups, because they are the future and they are my gang. And yeah, so yeah, we went on and on, but it's nice. And yeah, I'm back in Maisie's close friends. So I'm pretty sure for a good while I'm out of her close friends because she posts like she spam posts every day, like 10 to 15 Instagram stories, and I saw all of them. And yeah, so definitely for a while over winter when I'm like not seeing any stories from her, that's probably because I got out of the circle for a little bit. So yeah, it's interesting. That just goes to show that Maisie's someone who like thinks about the people around her a little bit more than she leads on. I also think I'm out of Jayun's circle, which makes sense. I mean, eventually, this happens for every person. It's crazy, right? I was in Leslie's close friend circle for a while, and I'm not anymore. And same with Jayun, and I don't know if the same thing happened to Pepper or not. I don't really care, but like, yeah, just coming and going. I'm pretty sure I'm in Colin's close friends group, but I don't really know. I don't really see it, so maybe I'm not. But I'm in Anya's close friends group. It's complicated, but yeah, we'll see. Also, I want to go to the gym. I feel fat, and I realize I don't have time to go to the gym because tomorrow night after class I actually have a 2-hour gap to just quickly grab lunch, and then I have Menora's Theater for Dead Man's Wire. So yeah, not a lot of time actually. So yeah, and won't have a lot of time at all tomorrow. Um, but again, I'm earning money, so that'll be cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much else. Yeah. Okay, time now is 10:26 a.m. on January 14th. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I slept from 4:20-ish to 10:12 by the alarm. And yeah, definitely again not the best sleep. It's less than 6 hours. It's better than yesterday's though, so it's an improvement. Also an improvement, I slept earlier. I slept 4 hours, half an hour earlier. Not exactly 3 a.m. I originally wanted to just go to bed at 3 tonight, but ended up not happening. By tonight, I mean last night. Or this morning. But, yeah, still improving slowly. Tonight, let's go to bed before 4, please. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that would be ideal. Yeah. But yeah, the moment I woke up today, the moment my alarm rang, Mary started playing music, and I'm just like, God damn, not again. Just blasting music as if she owns the whole house. At least it's a sentimental value song, but Jesus Christ. But yeah, today is gonna be a very long day. Surprisingly, even though it felt like it was gonna be short. But yeah, I have a therapy session at 11, which is why I'm waking up so early. Normally, I don't have to wake up early on Wednesdays. Normally, on Wednesdays, it's just 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., which is the Mary Sweeney class, which I'm excited for. And then almost after 4, I'm gonna have some time to eat lunch and chill, and then at 6 to 10 p.m., I'll be manning Dead Man's Wire screening tonight, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's basically it. I didn't do much last night. I watched half an episode of anime. Didn't really edit much, and didn't really write much, but I did write a couple more lines on my script, I guess. Hopefully I can do more today. Like, during my lunchtime, and also maybe during Dead Man's Wire if I don't see the film. But I think I will. Yeah. And, that's pretty much it for today. Again, I'm trying to go to bed early. Yeah, I don't know who am I gonna run into today. I'm kind of excited to see who I'll run into at SCA. I think Mary's playing Big Thief right now. At least it's not rave music. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna continue applying for internships, but I mean, it's fucking mid-January now, so I mean, chances are low. But I guess we'll see. And yeah, that's it.
So Austin, when did you graduate from USC?
I left school in 2015, spring 2015, like right. And he did that with me as a writer too. Like for some of these rewrites, he wasn't over my shoulder telling me like put a comma there, make him say this. He just was like speaking in platitudes and feeding me, movies to watch or radio shows and broadcasts to listen to, poems to read. Like he was very abstract in his direction and kind of let me. And then none of the cars, the picture cars showed up. There was no extras, and it was supposed to be like, oh, Indianapolis is alive. All the street cars are on the street, and the people are bustling, and no one was there. And Gus was like, okay, we'll shoot the 2 people that are. Like he just was like so minimal, and he handled the catastrophes with that energy. But I also learned from him that like when we premiered in Toronto, we world premiered in Venice, and then we had a North American premiere in Toronto in the Princess of Wales Theater. And it's a 2,000 seat theater, and it was packed. So every seat was sold, and it was the most electric, exciting, exhilarating thing. Like all the laughter, the gasps, like when they slipped on the ice, the gasps were like through the roof, and then the claps at the end. And for me, I was like high. I was like, oh my god, that's great. And we're walking backstage, and Gus was just walking with me, and he goes, oh, that was like the best screening ever. That was like the best an audience has reacted to one of my movies. That's cool. And that's, I think, what I'm taking from is that kind of gambler's mentality of you can't react to the losses with like, high emotion and be super.
Okay, time now is 2:57 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, let's talk about today. Today is a Wednesday. It's the third day of my second part of round 6, aka last semester, and it already feels like the end of the school week because tomorrow is actually going to be the last day of the school week. But also the semester literally just started. But yeah, today I woke up and I feel better. Even though I slept for less than 6 hours. But this morning I felt a bit more energetic. But unfortunately, right off the bat, I had a huge stomachache. I went to the bathroom. And I did not anticipate that, because when I went to the bathroom, it was 10:45, and at 11, I have the therapy session, so I had to really speed run that. So at 11:05, I got out, and I went to my therapy Zoom session, and I was late for 5 minutes, it's a-okay, and then I had the therapy session, and it was nice. Talked with the therapist, And genuinely, this is the best mental state I've been in all of, like, this is what the fuck am I trying to say? This is the best mental state I've had yet. And I was just sort of uplifting a little bit, talking to the therapist, kind of like, trying to be chill. So instead, the therapist told me, how about let's meet bi-weekly, or do you want to just wrap it up here? And I'm like, let's still meet bi-weekly, because I don't want to just end off my therapy sessions here on the first week. I still want to meet her until the end of the semester. Yeah, but we're going to do bi-weekly. So the next time I'll see her is more than 2 weeks later, like 2 weeks and a couple days later. So we'll see how my life goes from there. Yeah, and then at 11:50 I had breakfast, which is some cereal, and then I left. I walked all the way to school, and I wanted to go early because I just like the idea of being early to school, especially in the first week. And this is Mary Sweeney's class. It's important. And I don't know what to expect. I've never taken a grad level class before. So I arrived, and first of all, I saw a seer from afar. Didn't say hi. Then during the break for Mary Sweeney's class, I saw Maisie, but she zoomed past me, and I couldn't say hi to her. I also saw Brandon Wu. I saw a bunch of random people, and I just can't talk to them. So I went to the Mary Sweeney class, sat down, and holy shit, I don't know a single soul in that class. I did not expect that. I thought I would at least know a few people, like maybe a seer, or maybe he took that already. I don't know, maybe like Emma and Arjun. But no, not a single soul is in that class that I know. There's this one woman who I kind of recognize because she was on Dead Matriarch's Jewels, this Chinese woman. And then there's the TA from the Lynch class. But I don't know them that well, so I just sat alone. I sat at the middle of the classroom / theater. And and then Mary Sweeney was there, and it's nice. She talked, and then she talked about ideonarrative, which is like my own narrative, my own story. And then they passed a sheet of paper around to like write down your name and sign in. And what I appreciate is that everyone in the room seems older than me, and I feel really young again, which is nice because I feel like in all the undergrad classes I feel super old, and then here I feel relatively young. Yeah, it's a bummer that I don't know a single person in that class, but Mary Sweeney was like, we'll have breakout groups, we'll have discussions, so, maybe I'll meet friends here, maybe I'll make friends here, maybe, like, it won't be completely, isolation, kind of, Like, some classes I've taken, like the animated film class for the Karstosia. Oh my god, I just said the professor's name. That's fine. The animation class with the Romanian professor. Yeah, that one is just a whole semester of isolation. I just didn't speak to a single person, not really. But thankfully, this one might be different. And I was thinking of skipping a couple classes, like Mulholland Drive I've seen like 4 times. Or like I've seen 3 times, in The Move for Love I've seen 4 times. But Mary Sweeney was like, no, you have to show up. You're allowed 2 absences for very good reasons, but otherwise you have to be here. And then so I'm like, okay. To be fair, I would love to see Mary Sweeney talk about In the Mood for Love, though. That would be interesting. But, yeah, we'll see, I guess. We'll see. And then, yeah, we had a break, and then we came back, we watched a TED Talk, and then the class wrapped. It ended, and, oh my god, when it ended, it was only 2:30 something p.m. The class usually goes from 1 to 4 p.m., but today it ended at 2:30 something p.m. So it's hella early. My original idea is the class will wrap at 4, and then I'll go out and grab lunch, and then I'll go to the Norris Theater to do my shift. Well, new plan. I'm gonna head back home and just chill and eat lunch at home. And again, it's okay, yeah, I'm skipping ahead. So I went to SCA third floor and just like chilled a little bit. And then I saw, like in the periphery of my vision, I saw a woman behind me, but I'm like not really bothered to look at her, or more like I don't want to be, bothersome. And then eventually, this woman's like loitering around, like standing and walking, and then standing and walking, and then she left. And then I turned away, to see her, and turns out she's Tiger. I recognize her from her, like the way her hair is like sort of like chunked up. And then so I walked, and then I went to the elevator, and I said hi to Tiger. And that's really cool. Finally, one person that I know. Yeah, and then as I and Tiger were talking, we left SCA, and then we ran into a seer, and then us three talked for a little bit, and then at the end, I left quickly. I caught a bus and went back home. So yeah, that's the class. I mean, it's definitely more interesting, and the film selections are better than the usual camps classes, but we'll see. And this makes me realize the painful truth, and that is, this semester will be my most isolated semester in USC since the first semester. Because last semester, 5 classes, and 4 of them are full of people I know. Like, literally, if you think about it. MPSA, Motion Picture Script Analysis, you get Ethan Kwan, you get the 3 tenors, you get Jacob. The PD class, you get Christian, you get Sydney, and Ife and Evan, and some others that I meet eventually, but And then, and then of course the Asian horror class. I have Audrey, I have Andrew Wu, and then finally you have the Lynch class, and everyone's there. Everyone's freaking there. Click to View Gang and Cheyenne, and Andrew Wu and Ethan Kwan are sometimes there, and Octavian's there, and Emma and Arjun and Tiger are there. So this semester, it's very isolated. And it's kind of sad, but it's like, at the same time, it's kind of like a full circle moment, and it feels truly fitting for a last semester to like go back to this isolated kind of thing. And I realize that because of this, I won't be meeting Andrew and Brandon Wu a lot. I don't know how am I going to meet them unless I run into them. I'm not going to run into Click to View Gang a lot unless I run into them. And it's extra tough because it's my last semester, and I do want to like really socialize with the people that I already know, but it is really tough. And I realize another thing is sets are essential for social life. Like, classes are just a little bit, but whenever I'm on set, I socialize a lot. And if I want to do fewer sets this semester, that's counterintuitive. So again, it's like, oh my god, I'm going to be very alone this semester. So I really don't know. There's also an involvement fair today, but like, it's my last semester. I'm an old guy. What the hell am I going to do in an involvement fair? And a small part of me is thinking to myself, man, if only I had, right from the beginning in 2024, like join APCA, join this, join that, and then build my way up and then become super powerful and connected. Then I'll never be lonely. But, the APCA Instagram, they're like posting photos of board members, and then there's people like Daniel Pan and Vivian Ishida and some other people I know, and then Ted responded to a post, and then I responded with a joke, and then Andrew responded as well, which is kind of funny and cool. But like, this semester I'm super isolated with everyone, and yeah, it's it's sad. But I guess this means that there's an even stronger reason for me to not just rely on a class or a film set to socialize, but actually make, challenge myself and push myself out there even further. So, yeah, we'll we'll see, I guess. It's just sad. It's so, again, I'm still trying to chase that, you know, that feeling of secondary school where you go to school and you meet the same people again and again 5 days a week for 3 years straight, and everyone's like a family. We all know too much about each other. And then still, I'm still struggling somewhat with the fact that in college everyone's just kind of broken apart, and it's really tough to really find a group. So, yeah. But I'm excited for tomorrow because if anything, the essay film class tomorrow is going to be very interesting. I hope a bunch of people I know turn up there. I really sincerely hope. And then, yeah, because if not, if it's just a bunch of randos, I'm going to be really sad. I mean, the class is probably going to be good, but I'm just going to be really sad. And I'm also excited to go to Sandrine's Cannes reunion thing on the 17th. Again, I don't know how many people will actually go. Asir and Tiger seem to be going. But I just want to go somewhere and meet some people, you know. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. Went back home, chilled, and then that's when the tiredness really, really hits. And then, oh my god, I need to probably go to sleep, like, now. Yeah. And then at 5:50 I left and I took a bus back to school, and I realized I'm kind of late for my shift. We're watching Gus Van Sant's Dead Man's Wire, and it's kind of embarrassing that I've never seen a Gus Van Sant film. But yeah, I arrived at Norris, and then I saw the Romanian professor talking, and I'm like, oh! And then I realized, oh, it's in SCA 108, it's in Raystar Theater. So I walked over there, sat down, I saw Cody again from Dead Matriarch Jules. Damn, I'm glad I went onto that set. I'm meeting so many people from that one set. And then I met this other woman, her name is Zoe, and then we just sat down, and there's a lot of people coming in, and yeah, pretty simple job. I saw Garrett again, and Garrett brought a girl with him. So that's cool. I got to see Garrett twice just from this job, I guess. And then I saw Seda, and she has a little longer hair now. And for some reason, when Seda saw me, she was like really smiling, and she's like I don't know, something is like, she's like really like smiling and like surprised. And we talked a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I work here now. And she's like, yeah, this job fits you. And she asked me if I'm gonna see the film, and I'm like, yeah, probably. So that was nice. And then I saw Ife, but Ife was like in a hurry or something. I asked them like, what class are you going to? Because they want to go to a class. They're not seeing the screening. And they didn't really respond, and they just walked away. So that's funny. And then that's it. And then I eventually went into the screening, and I saw the whole film. But I was sitting at the very front right. So I had to look this way throughout the entire runtime, and my neck is hurting, and the whole screen is like a polygon, and it wasn't a great experience. I fell asleep for a little bit in the middle, which is bad. And yeah. So yeah, so there's that. And then the film was over, and then we had a Q&A with the screenwriter, which is pretty funny. He actually exposed a lot about the filmmaking process of the behind the scenes, how is it like working with Gus Van Sant. And then sometimes I'm like, is he saying too much? Like, damn. But yeah, he said that he looks at every Letterboxd review, so I immediately wrote a Letterboxd review, and he liked it. But yes, Gus Van Sant seems like a cool guy. He seems like a really calm guy who's just trying to do his job. Like, this film is very much just like, oh, it's my job, I want to make money, you know, kind of situation. Yeah, well, anyways, went back home, that's it. And then I emailed my employer to work on more shifts, because if the 8 hours on Monday and the 4 hours today are the only shifts I'm doing in January, yeah, that's then how is that different from the ALI job? Then I'm just earning the same amount of money. You know? Maybe even less, actually. Because, what, that's like 12 hours? And, yeah, 12 hours in January is like 3 weeks in ALI. It's, you know, I want to work a little more. So, I emailed him. I also did some, like, menial tasks. I applied to one more internship, and I sort of, like, emailed the evil company again. That starts with an N. Not the one that rejected me, but, like, the other one that I had to turn down. But, again, I kind of, like, don't care about internships that much anymore. I asked Eris Baker for a refund finally, and I thought she's just gonna ignore me. But no, she's like nice about it. She's like, okay, I'll pay you $95. I'm like, sure. And then, yeah, finally, after a whole ass month, responded to the Cine Asian Film Festival. I just remembered today. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to respond to them. So hopefully that's gonna go. And yeah, didn't really have a lot of time to read or write today. Hopefully I'm gonna do it a little bit later. Yeah, again, super excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be kind of tough too because it's a 7-hour class basically. It's 3 classes over the span of 7 hours, and I need to prepare. I need to read, and probably gonna wake up tomorrow. But I don't know about the lunch situation. There's no lunch. If my first class starts at 11, I leave around 9:50. And if I leave at around 9:50, that means I only have room for a quick breakfast. And then I won't be having lunch until like 7. So I guess I'm just gonna eat granola bars. And I think I might consider buying lunch outside. I don't have a lot of food at home for some reason. And also, yeah, I planned to buy food outside today and I ended up not. So I might as well just do that tomorrow night. I think that's a good idea. And then, yeah, also Friday there's no discussion for my cult class, like the Zen and Taoism, which means Friday I can sleep all day. So, yeah. Okay, time now is 9:29 a.m. in the morning. And on January 15th, I guess. I don't fucking know. Yes. Oh my god, what is Mary doing now? See, I slept from 4:30 maybe to 9:20, before 9:20. And yeah, not great. I wanted to go to bed earlier. Obviously, I wanted to go to bed at 3. That did not happen. But I did break the 5 a.m. curse though. That's good. I just need to break the 4 a.m. curse now. But Mary was playing music and she's singing now. Oh my god. Mary is an unbeatable force. At around 4:30 a.m., I was hearing music and talking, and I'm pretty sure it's coming from her room. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man, it's 4 a.m. Why are you listening to music? But I eventually fell asleep. Like, yesterday she was singing 24/7. She was having karaoke. And then now this. This weird construction sound is happening. I don't know what's happening. Okay. But yeah, I'm excited for today's class. Yeah, today, I have 3 classes back to back to back. 2 pretty boring ones, and then 1 very interesting one, and I need to stay awake. I have to stay awake. I wanted to go to school early and then just sit down for an hour there, but then now I'm probably not gonna do that because it's like 16 minutes until the bus arrives, and it's like I'm not gonna make it. But yeah, I have reading to do. I have and I just want to like read books and sit down and write my goddamn fucking script in general. And yes, blah blah blue. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. I'm excited for tomorrow because I can just wake up naturally. So that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, I also just got a response back from the evil company that I was applying to for an internship, and they said that all the digital media internship slots are filled up. So yeah, good thing. The good thing is, I guess, I don't have to worry about the evil company anymore. Like, I'm not applying to join their workforce anytime soon. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the essay film class. Like, who will show up? I wonder. Okay, I'm kind of late for class right now, but 3, 2, 1. Let's go, detective! Let's go, detective! Let's go, detective! Let's go, detective! Okay, let's go. Blah blah. Okay, it's 3:31 p.m. Yeah, it's a.m. in the fucking morning. I'm super duper tired. This morning I woke up without a lot of sleep, and I was quite frustrated because when I woke up, Mary, the roommate, was still singing. Don't know why. She kept singing and singing and singing. At 4 a.m. she's singing. At 9 a.m. she's singing. I don't know what's going on. Why is everything so musical? Why is she in such a musical mood? But she's always goddamn singing. Or playing music at least, but also singing, right? But I went back to bed like twice, and originally I wanted to go to school, leave my place at around 9:45, so that I would have 1 hour to just read and write. And I ended up not doing it. I ended up skipping that. I went back to sleep for a little more. I woke up and the simplest, fastest breakfast I could have is a slice of sweet potato pie, and goddamn, it was disgusting. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had sweet potato pie. I just don't want to eat that shit anymore. I've run out of good breakfasts, and I can't believe I'm out of food again. Even though I do have a lot of food, but if you think about it, I actually don't have a lot of food. But yeah. And then I immediately rushed out and I took a bus to take the first out of the 3 classes of today, and that is, of course, Religion 334. I arrived and there's been a bit of a change up in the sitting plan. I sat at the same spot, but the 3 people around me are different. But thankfully, there's a little bit more discussion today, and we just talked about the reading that we did, which is like 20-something pages long, which I only started doing since this morning. And yeah, we just talked about colonialism, and I spoke up for a little bit, talked about Buddhism and Taoism being, or not Buddhism, Confucianism and Taoism being misconceived as just religions. And then it was okay, it was a-okay, it was whatevs, and then I immediately went over to the second class, the Zen and Taoism class, and I also spoke up because the professor was talking about why Confucius is called Confucius, and I talked about how, well, yeah, the Portuguese made that name up. But it was much livelier than 2 days ago. The professor was standing up and walking around and talking and using the blackboard, and it was much more engaging. And I actually enjoyed the class a little bit, even though there's not a lot of interaction between me and others. There was an ice-breaking activity, though. There was a moment where the professor's like, okay, talk to the person next to you, talk to 2 people, and just introduce yourselves. Go. Yeah, so I talked to this stranger, and he studies in CS. He's a Latino guy, like CS as in computer science. Yeah, and then that's it, and then class is over, and then I got real excited. I zoomed over. I walked very fast to SCA, and as I was walking, I saw Jayun in all her glory, and she's really doing this Nana thing now. Her outfit is kind of blackish. She's wearing more blackish eyeshadow, and lipsticks are kind of blackish. I didn't look at her that much, and she definitely did not recognize me. She definitely did not see me, did not recognize me. But I saw her while I was on that big road between SCA and Thornton, and I was heading towards SCA. And then she went into SCA, the whole area, through the back alley, through the behind alley, and then I went to the other side, to the main entrance of SCA. And then, or no, I went through the Raystark building, through the courtyard, into the SA building, and I saw her again, and she still didn't see me. I'm like, I don't care. But goddamn, and she's nice, and she's talking to some random people. So I went to second floor, and I was like, okay, wow, I'm excited. I'm really excited for the CTCS 464, the SA film class, and because this would be the only interesting class socially, anyways. I ate half a granola bar, and I ran into Tiger, and again, which is crazy. Tiger's just always around, I guess. And then I forgot to say happy birthday to her. Another person came up to her and said happy birthday, and I'm like, oh yeah, happy birthday. And then anyways, I went to class, and it was a conference room. I didn't film anything in there. I think it's like impossible to film in there anyways, but it was a conference room. I didn't know that. I thought it would be a classroom. And it's a conference room, and it's a big, long table, and one side is a TV. The other side is where the professor's sitting at. And she's just this young Japanese lady. I've seen her photo before because I did a little background check, but she has long hair and, tied up. So it's a bit different. And then I saw Avichai, which is not surprising at all because I know Avichai is in documentaries. So I just sat next to him, and then I saw Josh De Silva and Julian Barahoni Ree. Joshua De Silva and Julian Barahoni Ree sitting together. And then this other girl, her name's Edith Zhang, this Chinese girl who was like one of the important CAMS people, like one of the CAMS ambassadors, she showed up. And then Yu Chen, from the, back, 508, all that stuff, he showed up. And, and then a couple people I think I know, this person, Ryan, from my PD class, and also this other guy, his name is like Danny. I think I've seen him on some set. I think maybe Starman, maybe not Starman. I don't know. I don't think it's Starman. I don't know. But yeah, we're just here, and I'm really happy that I know at least like 3 people here, 4 people here. I mean, Edith, I don't know personally, but yeah, I know 4 people here, so that's nice. And there's a lot of students, and by a lot I mean like 15. But surely a bunch of them are gonna drop out. Which is nice, which is going to be nice because it's a very uncomfortable room to hold this many people anyways. But yeah, we had the class, and the professor is surprisingly nervous. Like, she's like reading from the notes, and she's struggling a little bit, stuttering a little bit, but you can tell she's very sincere. She's really interested in the topic she's teaching, and also you get the vibe that she's very knowledged. Like, she's like curious on how good we are. Like, she wants to gauge how CAMS we are. And because there are so many of us who are actual cinephiles, whenever we mention like a name like Chris Marker or Werner Herzog or some obscure Japanese experimental filmmaker, she just lights up. She's like, oh. Like, okay, we did a self-introduction, and I mentioned that I'm a religion minor, and I want to challenge myself with documentaries, and I mentioned that I think about F for Fake and Sans Soleil, and then she lights up. She's like, oh wow. And yeah, and then and then after that, I was like, man, I wish I could have named more documentaries to impress her. But anyways, who cares? We went on with the class, and it's a really quiet class. I feel like it's always with the professor. If the professor is really showy and very exciting and entertaining, the class would be rowdier. If it's, this Japanese lady, she's more reserved and tight. So everyone's a little, like, very quiet and on the edge of our seats. But yeah, we didn't even talk about the reading today. I did the reading, but we didn't even talk about the reading today. Instead, we just talked about essay films, and then we watched 3 films. One is a video essay by Every Frame a Painting, which I've seen like a bajillion times, and then the other is this experimental Lebanese Palestinian film that I wasn't a big fan of. It's called Measure of a Distance. And then finally we watched Chris Marker's Letters from Siberia. And before that we had a 10-minute break, and I ran into Huvo. And I told him the story of Camden and sort of grading him. And Huvo's taking 290 today. And he's just asking me for tips and like, what should I do? Do I have to follow all the permits? And I'm like, no, you don't. So there's that. But yeah, Camden has this Huvo has this grand idea for like, oh, my P2 is gonna be like this dark comedy, it's blah blah blah, and I'm like, cool, just like go hard. Yeah, and then I went back to class, we watched the Chris Marker film, and damn, I tried so hard to not fall asleep, but I dozed off like 5 times in a 1-hour film. And after that, class dismissed. I'm really excited for the class. I'm really excited. But yeah, so at least there's one good class. And then I left, and then Avichai went to his job, and then I followed Yu Chen and 2 other Chinese guys. They all decided to grab dinner together because they have a class at 7 p.m. And at that point it was like 5-ish, I think. Yeah, no, yeah. No, at that point it was like 6. Was it? I don't know. But we decided to grab dinner, and they decided to go to Kenjo Ramen, which I've had once. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not super into ramen right now, but I do feel really cold and I need a big bowl of meat. So I got a simple bowl of spicy miso ramen, and I found out that they put butter in the noodles, which is literally a hate crime. You don't put butter in noodles. That's a hate crime. But yeah, I had the bowl of noodles, and I talked to Yuchen and his 2 friends, and it's very awkward because 3 of them speak Mandarin fluently, and I speak English to them completely, but I can still kind of understand their Mandarin, but then it's like, yeah. We talked about films, and all of them are very much cinephiles. This one guy, his name is Max, and he's like super into Jim Jarmusch, but like we started going off on like our favorite films and filmmakers, and talked about everyone from Kubrick to Bergman to like just everyone, and Tarkovsky. We talked about a lot about Tarkovsky, talked about Kiyoshi Kurosawa, talked about like just a lot of people, Gus Van Sant, and I mentioned that he has a new film out, and it's always amazing that whenever a bunch of cinephiles talk about movies, I can always keep up because I am at that level. It feels so good. I know there are still a bajillion films I still haven't seen, but it just feels so good that I'm at that level where I could meet a stranger and we could just talk about movies because we're at the same, like, we have the same knowledge. It's just so crazy. But yeah, they went to class and I just took a bus back home. So another interesting thing today is that on the Click2View Discord server, Anya and Colin announced that they're going to do a movie night at the Anya house. I guess I'm just going to call it the Anya house. Or the Click to Live, the Click to house. They're going to do a movie night of Fred 3, which I've never seen before. And I've been debating myself whether I want to go or not because I'm super tired. I went back home and I wanted to just sleep. And I did kind of fall asleep on my chair a little bit. So I was just really, really tired, and I thought maybe I'm just wasting time. But given that we already ended week 1, it's a little unsatisfying. It's a little unsatisfying because, I just went through week 1. But my classes, I don't really know anyone. And I'm just like, there's this deep sense of loneliness. And I just want to hang out with someone. I just want to talk to someone. And I was debating in my head whether I should go to the Click2View event or not. And at the end, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go. But I was late. It starts at 9. I went there at like 10 something. And it was kind of awkward. I was like, oh, what if I go there and it's like weird and the vibes are off and I'm like an outsider. I'm just going to go back home. But very much the opposite happened. I arrived, I DM'd, I didn't DM, I put in the Discord group chat, I'm like, I'm here. And I showed up, and then Colin opened the door, and there's a lot of people in there. Garrett isn't here, Rachel Barris isn't here, but everyone else is here. So you got Colin, Anya, Liam, Rachel Shin, and then you have Swan An, the half Vietnamese, half white girl, and Leandra, of course, and you have Riley and Julia, who is apparently half Brazilian, but it's like her ethnicity is really ambiguous. Like, you cannot tell where she's really from. I mean, she's American, but she's like quarter Brazilian, quarter Japanese. But like with Brazilians, you can never really guess their ethnicities anyways because it's like a super duper melting pot. But yeah, and then we have Jan, who's this animation guy, and and the movie's playing, but we're all just talking to each other, and the movie's background noise. And so I just talked to people. I talked to Colin. They were all like, "Ooh, nice haircut." Like when I went in, they were like, they saw the glasses. They're like, "Do you always wear glasses? Ooh, nice haircut." It's so crazy because like I didn't wear my glasses much in the last 2 semesters that now whenever I do wear glasses, it's like, ooh, what's this change? But I do want to do this change. And they also really notice the haircut, which is, again, kind of crazy because like 3 semesters ago, this hair is normal for me. But now it's like super short. And I realized that my hair hasn't been this short since like maybe 2023. Or maybe even earlier. So this is like, it's been a while since my hair has been this short. But yeah, I talked to people more. I talked to Anya, and they just talked about how their days have been. You know, I just took this class, and it's really fun, and I got this job, and I'm just Colin's doing this gig for this men's sleep pills company, like editing some stuff for them on After Effects, and then Anya's doing this, and then etc. And then yeah, and then I talked with Rachel Shin a little bit. She's like a really funny person. Like she said, oh, can I like text you or call you about 290? And then we joked around a lot, and like Rachel talked about how like I joked a lot with Rachel too. I told her like I want to change my identity every semester, and she's like, you're scaring me, and I'm like, oh, that's a compliment. And then I talked to Swanon a lot because I haven't really spoken to her a lot, but she just talked about Asian horror films. She's really into creature horror films, like monster horror. And then there's like a group of people just sitting on the floor talking about mental illness, because why the fuck not? And so Swanon was like, I want to join. And I'm like, okay, let's join. So I joined in. I was beside Colin. And they were talking about autism, which is really interesting. And then Rachel at some point was like, no, we were like trying to, like Swanon was like, okay, I can clock it whenever someone's autistic. And then Swanon was like, yeah, Leandra is autistic. And Anya is like, am I autistic? And then Swanon was like, no. And it's so interesting because it's the second time Anya has shown her consciousness, her awareness of the fact that she's not autistic, and the fact that she's a little bummed out that she's not autistic enough, which is so funny. And then I asked, like, do you think I'm autistic? I asked one on, and then Anya was like, yes! Before I could even finish my sentence. And I found it really funny. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but when Anya was like, yes, it felt like a kind of compliment, you know? And I just stayed quiet. And then Rachel at some point was like, okay, if anyone here, everyone here is like either LGBTQ or mentally ill or like diagnosed with something. And then Rachel was like, okay, if you're straight, happy, and undiagnosed, raise your hand. And only Jan, the animation guy, and Rachel raised their hands. And I don't know if it's like sarcastic or not, but like everyone else is just like, you're either gay, queer, or you're mentally ill, or both. And at some point they were even talking about, it was a little bit earlier in the conversation, but I hear someone talking about taking Prozacs, and like Liam talking about taking Prozacs, which I assume is a kind of antidepressant, and how Liam was like, oh, my mental health has been going down, and I thought I was going to have a panic attack this morning. And Liam just started taking Prozac, and Colin was like, yeah, you know, the first week is usually really tough. And Anya talking about her experience with Prozacs, and then Julia Porter, she joined in, she started talking about taking Prozacs, and it's so crazy, it's so prescient. Like in my script, I'm writing about how everyone's on antidepressants, and it's true, everyone's on freaking antidepressants, and it's a very you know, click to view this group. It's just such an edgy group of people, and I'm kind of glad I'm in this group. And then I sometimes ask myself, man, am I like edgy and broken enough? Like I don't know, but I shouldn't really think this way. But yeah. Anyways. But the conversation shifted on and on. I originally wanted to leave early because I don't want to go to bed super late. But the conversation went on and on, and it felt good. And I just talked to more people, and they were the conversations keep shifting to like race and countries. We just talked about race and countries, and we talked about like It's random shit. And then I stood up because I want to stretch my legs. And then Colin and Anya were like, "Are you heading out?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just stretching my legs." And then Anya was like, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, I do have a class like tomorrow at 10 a.m. So you know what? I should go to bed." And Colin's like, "Yeah, me too." Because they have a weightlifting class, and I'm like, "Why can't you just go to the gym?" And they're like, "Well, I want to be good at it." And yeah, and then everyone just started leaving. So I just started this movement of leaving, and then so everyone left. I called a lift, came back home, and that's it. So other news: the internship's woman at SCA. She randomly emailed me out of nowhere saying, "Hey, there's this new internship. Apply to it. Just tell them that you're referred to by me." So that's cool. I applied ASAP, and then Christian responded. He's alive, and he said he'll be back by Sunday. So he's not even in LA now. And then Cliff finally responded to my happy birthday message. So there's that. And yeah, tomorrow I get to wake up late. So yippee-ki-yay. And the water machine in the fridge is fucking broken because every week something in this apartment has to break. The water doesn't work. There's no water left. The fridge is not making water. It's leaking and the water's dripping down within the freezer and it's turning into ice popsicles. So what I did was, even though there's no water, there's still ice cubes, and I dispensed a bunch of ice cubes into my electric kettle. I boiled them, and now I have a kettle full of water. If push comes to shove, I can just boil tap water. But I did put a maintenance request, so hopefully someone will come over and fix it. That's pretty much it. So it was a good conclusion. I'm glad I went to the Click 2 house to chat, and yeah, I'm glad I just went there. Although I'm glad I'm like not the straightest, cleanest guy. Like Jan is a white dude who's straight, yeah, and seems to be mentally healthy. Like, I'm glad I'm like not the cleanest guy in the room. But again, I hate to think of this as like some sort of like dick measuring contest where we have to measure how quirky and broken we truly are. Like even when Rachel was talking about how she's straight, like people are denying. People are like, "No, you're bi-curious," and Leandra's like, "Yeah, I think that means you want to fuck girls. Like you're straight, but you want to fuck a girl." Like Leandra actually said that, and then yeah, we talked about sex for a little bit, and Swanon was like, "It's actually not that difficult to not get pregnant," and then I realized, oh yeah, I'm a virgin. I just remembered that. It's so crazy. I just forgot that I'm a virgin. Yeah. Who knows? I feel like, in the first week of this semester, I'm really going into my school with, this very calm, sort of peaceful mindset. And I feel like I'm getting hit with temptations, right? The APCA posts makes me think that I should have, join APCA and become a figure of sorts. And then hearing people talk about relationships and sex, it's just like, oh, please don't remind me, It's just these things again. Yeah. But I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. Okay, time now is 2:58 p.m. on January 16th. Yeah, fuck. God damn, I really had a huge sleep. Just now, I slept from about 5:30 a.m. to... I woke up around 1:30, and then somehow I didn't leave my bed, and then I woke up for real, and then it's 2:30. Like, I don't know how that happened. But here I am. I feel really good. The bad news is I slept super late last night. I don't know why. Again, I didn't even see a film last night. I just went to bed late because I ate dinner super late and etc. So I'm gonna try to go to bed earlier again. I need to break the 5 a.m. curse now, and then break the 4 a.m. curse. So that's gonna be tough, but I'm sure I'll be able to do it. Yeah, I'm trying to remember my dream. I just remember my dad using my bathroom and then throwing a towel that I used to wipe my phone with on my bed, which really pissed me off. And it was, I think we were all traveling, the whole family, me, dad, my brother, and yeah. I'm trying to remember my dream because Mary Sweeney has us writing down dreams and stuff. Also, it's been a year since David Lynch died, speaking of which, and yeah, it's tough. But I feel good because I'm not really stressed about anything right now. I mean, yeah, there are jobs and internships and whatever, but I'm not really that stressed compared with last semester. Again, last semester I'm like stressed about internships, jobs, Giant. Now I'm not really that stressed about anything. I mean, I am stressed about, my future, of course, but it's just good that I'm not that worried much, which is good. And yeah, I did email my employer last night, and unfortunately my next shift is going to be January 31st. So I'm actually not working that much this month. And now I'm thinking of getting a second job at SCA. We'll see. But at least I'm earning money. That's better than nothing. And yeah, today I'm gonna head out to see Tova and Lizzie, and we're gonna go to Silver Lake together. The funny thing is, they have the tickets to see The Long Goodbye. I don't. So if I don't get in, I'm probably just gonna come back home. I want to hit the gym. That's what I want to do. And then tomorrow's Sandrine's party, which I'm excited for because I want to see a reunion for the Can people. So yeah, that's that. Far away.
Maybe that's like the ironic picture.
One of my best friend's name is Julio. Hey, Kristen. There you go, man. Awesome. Yeah, nice. Please come on
A lot of restaurants also have like spaces for events, like even close to the venue. Yeah, because that's what.
Hi, guys.
Hello, Los Angeles.
Awesome. Well, guys, first of all, thank you all so much for pulling up. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, time now is 3:40 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, today has been quite nice in that not a lot really happened. I woke up and I filmed a little bit, and then I still haven't really decided whether I want to go to Silver Lake with Tova and Lizzie for The Long Goodbye. But yeah. Yeah, so I ended up going, is what happened. But the decision wasn't even made until around 5:30 p.m. Tova and Lizzie texted me asking me if I'm gonna go, and I'm like, I don't know, but I mean, I can still try. I mean, and it's a truly 50-50 situation, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know, I want to go, but I don't know. Usually in these situations, it's like 40-60. Like 60% I want to stay home, 40% I want to go. But this time it's like 50-50. Like, I want to go, I want to hang out with people, I want to see the world, you know, I want to watch a film. And then at the same time, I'm like, you know what, I'm tired. I want to just stay at home and read. Or actually, I really wanted to hit the gym. I just feel like, I don't know why, maybe it's insecurity, but I really wanted to just really get in shape. I want to go to the gym. I want to buy food. I'm really low on food. Like, I actually only have about half a meal's worth of chashu. That's the only meat I have. I finished all the other meats. I mean, I have some prosciutto, but that doesn't mean anything. It's so crazy how little meat I have in the fridge. So I wanted to go buy food, you know, just do these trivial things. And even so, I have no idea. But eventually, Lizzie was like, okay, I'm coming to pick you up at 6:05. So I'm like, oh god, okay. So I made lunch at 5:50, and it was like a couple eggs, a sausage, and a bread. And I shoved it all down, and I still haven't finished the bread. And I grabbed a piece of bread on my right hand. Left hand is my jacket. I grabbed my diagonal bag, rushed downstairs, got in the car, and then they drove away. And then about 5 minutes later, we were on the highway, and then in my head, I suddenly remembered, oh yeah, I have the internship email. I need to respond to the internship woman. And then suddenly, I realized I forgot my phone. And I'm a very careful person. I never do that. That's the first time. I guess I just left my place in a rush, so much so that I just forgot my phone. I remember one time, I think last year, or 2 years ago, back in 2024, there was a time when I just straight up forgot my wallet. Like, I went to the final presentation day for my PD, for my art directing class. I forgot to bring my wallet outside. Like, it just happens sometimes. It's so crazy. Thank God, even though they were already on the highway, Lizzie was like, you know what, we can go back, we have time. So she drove me back to this place, and I went and grabbed my phone, went out, and got in the car again, and yeah, just went on. And yeah, it's hurting. Okay. But yeah, we arrived at Silver Lake, and when I entered the theater, and it was a theater, it wasn't even a theater, it was just a bar / restaurant, and we went downstairs to the basement. It was underground, and it's literally just a bar. There are some seats, there are some restaurant tables, and there's a small screen, and very freaking small, just up there on a wall, and that's the movie theater. But it felt nice, but it definitely feels like Sub Club. It's just like a bunch of random people organized it and invited a bunch of random people. So yeah. So at that point, I was ready to pull out my phone and just look at the bus schedule, because I'm planning to just go home. And I was even slightly excited to go home, because my bus ride is 40 minutes long, and I want to just listen to music while working on my script. But alas, that didn't happen. When we went to the guy who's checking the tickets, he checked off a couple names, and then I was like, is there a standby line? Is there a last minute line? And he's like, yes, there's a wait list, but you can just go in. You can just go in. So I was like, okay. So I went in, and me, Tova, Lizzie, we grabbed a nice little table at the corner, and I sat down. Lizzie got like a drink and some water, and Tova got some French fries and some churros. I eventually got Coca-Cola, and then, I guess here it is. The movie's already playing, and, yep. So we watched the whole film. It was good. I wish I saw it on a big screen with English subtitles. That's all, because I don't really know what's happening sometimes because of lack of subtitles, and also it's not a very great it's not a great theatrical experience. But yeah, at around 9:15 the film ended, we left, and there's this little patio outside where there's a DJ, there's drinks, and people are just standing around. It's basically kind of a party, but it's just people talking, and so it's not really a party, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it is basically a party, kind of. But yeah, and then in my head I just wanted to go home, but Lizzie and Tova, especially Lizzie, was like, yeah, let's stay for a little bit. So we ended up talking to these two Latino guys. They're both from Cal State Dominguez Hills. And I was just like, I don't know, after the film, I'm just like really, I just want to do nothing. I don't want to socialize with people. I just want to chill and smoke a cigarette, like the main character. Even though I don't even smoke. But yeah, I just stood there and I didn't say much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, I just realized there was a guy who asked me to see my short films, and I YouTubed Enoch Lai, and I realized that now there are two Enoch Lai channels. One is Enoch Lai, the channel with my YouTube, with my short films. The other is Culture Detective, but it changed to Enoch Lai. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it's so crazy because a few days ago there was a comment on my YouTube video saying, oh yeah, I like that you changed your name, and I don't really know what that person means. I like the name change, and I don't really know what that means. Turns out, last week I changed my Google account name, but that also changed my YouTube channel name. I have no fucking idea how, but that's what happened. So I'm gonna try to change it back, or at least change the YouTube channel name. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, moving on. Yeah, they drove me home. I returned home. I took a shower, and then I had dinner. They still haven't fixed the fridge, so I called TripleLink before I left. And they're like, we'll check up on you. Apparently, sometime between 8 a.m. to 12 at noon, they already sent a couple people up here to fix the fridge, even though I didn't know because I was clearly not awake. But clearly the fridge is not fixed. There's still no water, so I'm boiling tap water now. Unfortunately, that is the only way to go. So yeah, tomorrow I'm excited because of Sandrine's party at Culver City. A lot of people are going to show up. I think the only few people who aren't going to show up is Matt, because he's not in America, and Elizabeth, because she doesn't really care, I guess. And Brennan, maybe because he's busy, but everyone else is coming. Arjun and Emma are coming. Maybe Justin is coming, but I don't know whether he's in the UK or if he's magically back in LA, or but that would be really cool. By that I mean John L. Fuck, I said his real name. It's okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I still feel really out of shape. I just saw Instagram. I saw Jayun post a photo of herself, and she's like, "Oh my god, I hate this." It's not a selfie. It's somebody taking a photo of her, and she's like doing this, and she's like, she's like doing this. She's like, you can't see my bottom right now, but she's like sticking her butt out, and she's like, you know, she's really feeling it. It didn't feel that stiff. It was like more like you know, like this, you know. And she's so pretty. And you know, the other day when I saw her in person, I didn't really look at her for, you know, I didn't really look at her. I see her in the corner of my eye, and I glance, and I'm like, okay, that's her. Goodbye. You know, the last time I really looked, like, stared into her eyes was, of course, Little Tokyo. But, like, this photo, goddamn, I still... She's still making me feel something. And that's bad. And she's so, like, I can't even... Like, there's a kind of aura, like, she's not even trying... but she's so, like, mystifying, like she's pretty and she's, like, showing herself, but she's also, like like hiding something, and she looks so good, and I hate that. And again, it's just like last week when I started school, well, before I started school, it's like I'm going into this semester with this very peaceful mindset. I'm not going to be, and then every now and then, demons. I can feel demons touching my feet. I can feel demons trying to grab me from beneath. Like, seeing the APCA posts and realizing that, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, the APCA stuff, I should have done more APCA. And then seeing Jayun and then feeling like, oh, this could have happened, that could have happened. If she was not dating Colin, maybe I had a chance, But these are just demons. I feel like I'm being tempted by demons. Like if a demon grabs me by the feet and I am grabbed, then I will go back down this spiral of sadness and anger and madness. Right now I'm still up there, but I can feel demons under my feet. And I don't know. I really need to stay strong, man. I really need to stay strong. To be honest though, even though in APCA, the cool thing about APCA is that like if you're like a senior in APCA, there are freshmen and youngins, sophomores that really look up to you and you're sort of like this leader. But Hugh Vo texted me today asking me for tips for 290 because he's taking 290 now. And I like that. I like that unofficially he's like, a bit of an apprentice. I mean, in some ways Justin T is like that, and then the other day Rachel Shin, yesterday Rachel Shin was saying, I want to text you for tips. So it's nice that there's still this kind of situation, I guess. But yeah, God, that giant. And then Maisie posted Maisie loves taking selfies, like blurry ass selfies of just her. And she's like, oh, I feel so good that I'm working with Jayun again. And she mentions her by name on her close friend story. I'm so excited to work with Jayun again. And she doesn't do that often. She doesn't like, I'm excited to work with this fucking person again. She does that and it's just like, oh God. Like, please, can someone around me hate her so that I could feel less bad about not being around her? Like, can we have some haters, please? Less love, more hate. We need to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just can't. Like, I mean, Jayun is so close to perfection, and I wish that's not true. I mean, I think that's not true, but it feels like she's close to perfection. The only thing that's really keeping her from perfection is she has a baby face, and I don't really like that. No, the real reason is that she likes white men. Why? Why is her taste in... She likes scrawny white men, not even Octavian. If she's and Octavian are dating, I'd be like, that's reasonable. Octavian's a child star. Like, what are you talking about? Colin Nelson? That scrawny ass white kid? Octavian's right there. If she's full-on lesbian and she's dating, I don't know, some cool girl, I'd be like, you know what, you go, girl. Colin Nelson might be the worst person to date. I genuinely, like nothing's good had ever come out of him. Yes, genuinely nothing good. Like, it's baffling that they're still together. It is baffling. Well, let's not think about that. Okay. Okie dokie. I still have my dinner here. Okie dokie.